Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, Mysterious Cameraman, and today I am talking about Arrow Season 7 and if it's still good. So, I have a confession to make. I'm currently on Crisis. I'm really ahead. This is just because I've been dealing with a lot of other videos. I was doing the, Winter Soldier credits, I was doing a few reviews, and I've also been dealing with the shooting of our next project. We are officially beginning shooting in a few days, so excited for that. But let's get back on topic. This season, I have a lot of mixed feelings about, so we're going to just do this the classic way that I've been doing this, and we're going to just see how it goes. Before we get into it, though, if you haven't already seen any of the trailers for the Fan Film Awards, vote. Vote closes when? Sunday night? You do not have much time, and you're going to need to vote. It is currently, I am going to say, an extremely close vote. We have a lot of really good fan films out there. So vote for your favorite fan film. Share it to your favorite fan film studio so they can promote it. I don't really care what you do, but try to get your favorite studios to win because, again, this only comes around once a year. This ain't coming around until 2024. Or maybe it will come sooner. Who knows? But if you want to see if you want to see your favorite fan film win out of 24, go vote. Besides that, let's jump into the video. Okay. Season 7, Episode 1, Inmate 4587. This episode was incredible. I'll admit. Because I'm watching this on Netflix, it has, the episode that, or the clip that shows, it was from the opening of Inmate 4587. That was the clip that always, played. So I saw it, I was like, damn, this looks incredible. So I was always so excited for this one. It's really good. I'm not gonna lie. This episode's really good. This is, the perfect prison one. And I think, compared to The Flash, I think Gotham and Arrow just have it better for the prison arcs because they don't have powers. And they also have their identity revealed. So they have, that on their back. Barry Allen was just, a dude. Gotham, he put, Gordon put away so many people. And, Oliver's the Green Arrow, again. So I thought that was really an incredible episode. I loved watching it. It was so fun. And seeing all the return characters, this was, the refreshing thing that we needed from Arrow. Season 7, Episode 2, Longbow Hunters. I liked this episode. Didn't love this episode. I loved the prison parts of it. I don't care about the Longbow Hunters as characters. I feel like they're not interesting villains. I know a lot of people were excited for them. To me, they were never seemed interesting like these three powerful people. They just didn't seem like threats, even from the beginning. Especially the mute person, the person who muted everything around them. That was an interesting idea. It just became really annoying to watch. I feel like it was an interesting idea at first, but the amount of fighting that they did that for, it actually, became really annoying. But I liked the prison parts in it. Season 7, Episode 3, Crossing Lines. I thought this was the better part of the prison arc. I thought this was a pretty good episode. I liked the idea of him going down to level 2 and then eventually meeting the demon. I thought that was a really good idea. I loved seeing him and Brick and the others talk and stuff. And completely blank on his name, but the good one. I'm going to remember it towards the end of it. But I really liked all of them. Dunbar? Is that? No. Maybe. I remember liking all these guys. It's such an interesting idea. Yeah, I really like it. The prison part, this is, again, not my favorite thing for outside the prison, but Season 7, Episode 4, Level 2. This episode was decent. I feel like they were really just trying to rehash, a fundamentals or a really Capuchin. And this Capuchin was probably the best episode the best episode of this format they've ever done. Fundamentals, again, is such a great episode. I feel like they're trying to do this again, and they're, trying to, do this thing to Oliver when they're, trying to get to his core, figure out the heart of the character. It pays off at the end of the season, and I think it's such an interesting idea. It really is such an interesting idea, but I think it's done better in Season 5, and I don't see why they had to do it again. Season 7, Episode 5, Demon. This was another really good episode, the prison arc. This is when I feel like it got back to its peak. I think it was good for a while, but I think this is when it really heightened again. I love seeing Talia in this. And I also like the idea of what they're doing behind the doors. I feel like it's such a fun idea. And I don't love the underground part. I don't love it so much, but I think it's decent. Season 7, Episode 6, Due Process. I really like this episode. I really enjoyed Oliver back on the level with him fighting everyone else with the Star City Slayer or Slasher or whatever the name they're going with. I thought that was such a good idea, and they really executed well. Season 7, Episode 7, Slapside Redemption. I can't say anything about this episode that hasn't been said already. I'm just going to leave it at this episode is really incredible. This episode does so much well. It feels like a season finale. I think that it works, though, that the way they did this, how... I do like the idea that Diaz was like a really, like a season and a half long villain. I feel like it built him up more. If they had Diaz start as a villain in season 6 and this was a season 6 finale, I don't think that would have necessarily worked because I feel like they needed that break of Oliver in prison. I don't think they could have went from like episode like 14 of him getting thrown in prison, in episode 15 being like that, because then he can't do a Quinton night. I feel like that all just worked so well here, though. They really wanted to go with the prison arc. I think this is where the prison arc really worked. And I loved seeing the Slapside Redemption. I think if you think about that as like a 7-episode season, it's really good. It takes all in the prison. I love that part. I love how it takes place all in the prison. The fight scenes in this episode. I don't think I've ever loved the fight scenes in this as much as I have since Lian. Because everything in this is so good. It feels like a season finale. And what I love about the season finales of Arrow, except for season 7's and season 4's and season 3's, is that what they do so well is they have constant action. Like, I feel like I felt this a lot in season 6, but I feel like in all the other ones, it opens with a bang. It opens like a fight scene, and it goes from a fight, another set piece, and another set piece, and another set piece. And you see that here when there's so many fight scenes. There's like 5 or 6. Or if we look back at like season season 5 when they have that fight scene in the forest, and then they go deeper and they go into like the shack, and then they do that, and then they go to the boat. There's so much going on. Or in season 6 when they are saying goodbye, but they're also having all these fights. I feel like they really pace their finales really well, so it feels like a final battle without all the extra stuff. And I love that here. And this episode's just so good. It pays off everything in those prior 7 episodes, and I don't think they could have done it any better because it also pays off so much. I don't have anything else to say that hasn't been said. Season 7, Episode 8, Unmasked. I liked this episode. I didn't love this episode. I think it works at the start of it. I feel like it goes on for too long. For me, it's just not my favorite idea, and I don't love it. But it's good. Elseworlds, sorry. I don't include the crossover in my final 3 ranking of the season because I don't consider that a part of the season. I think it's unfair. I'm just going to talk about Elseworlds. Personally, I never loved Elseworlds. I know it's a really popular one. For me, Crisis on Earth X is probably my favorite, or Infinite Earths. I have to finish Infinite Earths again and then really judge them. But Elseworlds has never been my favorite. I like the idea of Oliver and Barry switching bodies, but I feel like it's such a short crossover with it being only 3 episodes. It really is such a short crossover. So I feel like that's annoying, but also I feel like Oliver and Barry switching bodies should have been 1 episode. I think it goes on way too long for 2 episodes, and I feel like they were trying to do like a backdoor pilot to Batwoman as well. Or Batgirl. I forgot what it's called, but I feel like it was too, like, it felt very weird. It felt like they were going back to like the Invasion one. The way they were doing it, like they had to jump between it and this stuff. Like Barry and Oliver could have been the switch bodies for the first episode and the second episode. Then they go to Gotham, but they're in their normal bodies. I think it just went on for too long. Season 7, Episode 10. My Name is Emiko Queen. Decent. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was decent. I feel like Emiko Queen is just not a good villain. She was like the first villain of Arrow that I just didn't like. Like, Damien Dark also was not great, but I'm one of the few who did like Ra's al Ghul. I thought Ra's al Ghul could have been done better, but he was good. Also, Kaden James, I thought could have been done better, definitely, but he was good. I think Emiko Queen is my least favorite villain of Arrow. Even below Damien, probably. I think it's a close battle. I think it could be Damien. I think Damien has to be lower because of how terrible he really is. I just don't love Emiko. Season 7, Episode 11, Past Sins. I like this episode. I do like the idea of the hallucinations. I think that's this one. But at the same time, I don't love this episode. I think it's decent. Season 7, Episode 12, Emerald Archer. Love this episode. Episode was incredible. I was sick when I was watching this episode. I was not expecting much from it. But when they did that documentary opening, like, you have to understand, like, when they did a documentary opening, I was hooked. I loved seeing all the people they saw. We brought back Ragman. I think I've seen set photos that he's in Fade Out. I've never seen Fade Out because I haven't finished Arrow. I don't know if he returns, but that was his first time coming back since season 5. We got Paul Blackthorne back. We got Grant Gustin, to be fair, whatever. We know he's in The Flash. We can always watch him there, but it's so cool to see him on the show. Like, it was such an awesome episode. I love the way it was shot as well. Them switching between the documentary and normal. The idea of it, like, being an actual documentary with them actually filming it, I think is such a creative idea that I've never seen Arrow, Flash, Gotham ever go to. Next time me watching DC Legends, I might change my opinion. But I've never seen an episode really go to lengths that they have, like, a full documentary being filmed. Like, I feel like it's such a creative idea. Like, it makes sense, but I think I've never seen something go to such a length to be so creative and think of such interesting ideas. To be like, oh, let's just do a documentary and having them all fight at different points in the season. I just loved it, and it was such a fun episode. Season 7, episode 13, Star City Slayer. I like this episode. I didn't love this episode. I like William. I think he's pretty cool. I like it. I just feel like it's just not great. I do like the plot of it, though. I think it's pretty interesting. Season 7, episode 14, Brothers and Sisters. I don't remember much of this episode. If I don't remember much, I don't feel like that means it's great. But if I don't remember much, I probably didn't love it. 7, episode 15, Training Day. I did like this episode. I feel like this episode was pretty interesting. I liked seeing everyone back as a team. But I also didn't love this episode. I feel like the cops were way too hard on them. Like, I get it, but it was too forced in my opinion. But I did like this episode a lot. Season 7, episode 16, Star City 2040. Let's just talk about the flash forwards here. I like the flash forwards. I don't love them. I feel like they're pretty annoying a lot of the time. But I do like seeing Roy and all the way things the future are like. I just don't think the flash forwards are terribly interesting. I don't think they're good. So I didn't love this episode. 7, episode 17, Inheritance. I thought this episode was decent. I do like seeing them on the field. I do like seeing the way it's done, but I don't love this episode. 7, episode 18, Lost Canary. Not great. Didn't love the idea of Laurel going evil. It was just not a good episode. Season 7, episode 19, Spartan. Again, I know a lot of people like this episode. I don't love this episode. This episode, in my opinion, is way too much, like, I don't feel like we need to know what's going on with Spartan's uncle thing. Like, I don't care about that. To me, that, like, it wasn't interesting enough for an episode. 7, episode 20, Confessions. This episode was another really incredible one. I really liked seeing the fight scenes in this, the way that it was shot, the way it was, like, an actual detective story, and the way they're covering up for Roy. I thought that was so cool. Season 7, episode 21, Living Proof. This episode was decent. I liked seeing, again, this is like the Fundamentals episode. When you have Oliver talking to someone and they're trying to get to the heart of it. Arrow does this a lot. Again, this is not as good as level 2 in my opinion. This is like decent level stuff. But I just feel like it was unnecessary. It was cool. I'll admit, it was cool. It just was a little unnecessary. And then 7, episode 22, if you have failed this, you have saved this city. This episode began really terrible, but it got really good towards the end. I didn't know that Monitor was going to come. I didn't know Arrow was going to leave his family. I didn't know that stuff. I thought it was so good. I loved Oliver saying goodbye to Felicity. I love the idea of him finding out he was actually going to die. And then him saying goodbye, and then him leaving, and then Felicity leaving. So good. I also love the idea of us not seeing Felicity so much next season, which we haven't. It was really fun getting that break. Also, Roy. I loved getting Roy. Roy, for these last 3 episodes, I did not expect it. Thought he was only going to come back for Confessions, but I feel like I think Colton Haynes wanted to come back to the show. And I really like that he came back here. I liked that he comes back in Season 8, but I'll talk about that in the next video. But I really like this. I thought this whole last 3 episodes were pretty good. Even though episode 21 doesn't really count, I love seeing Roy back. He's such a fun character. And I think You Have Saved the City ends really good, but it doesn't work until the ending, in my opinion. So I think I have my top 3. I'm just gonna double check. I think I have a pretty solid. I think I really have to do a top 5. Yeah. I think I have to do a top 5 for this one. I've done it sometimes. 5th place, I think I have to go with You Have Saved the City. I don't like a lot of the episode. It's very boring, except for that ending, and the ending really saves it, but it's not like You've saved this episode. The ending's really good. I just feel like everything up to the ending isn't great. 4th place, I guess I have to go with Confessions. I do like Confessions a lot. I feel like it's a pretty good episode. I just don't love it. I think it's good. I just don't think it's great. Like, I think it's really good. I think it does a lot of interesting things. I like the idea of the bloodlust. I like the idea of it being like a murder mystery. Like, who did it? I feel like Arrow this season did a lot of creative ideas with Confessions, with Living Proof, even with Emerald Archer. They did a lot of really creative ideas. I really enjoyed Confessions. I like the idea of it being all of the twists and turns. I liked it. I just didn't love it. 3rd place has to be Inmate 4587. I can honestly actually give a tie for 3rd place for Inmate 4587, and yeah, I'm going to do that. Inmate 4587 is going to be tied for 3rd place with Confessions. I think they're both on the same level. I know some people don't like the back half of the season so much. I think it's just such a creative idea. 2nd place is going to have to be Emerald Archer. I love it. It's just such a good episode. It does so many interesting things that I just didn't expect Arrow to do. Like, it just was such a fun episode. I loved seeing what they were doing in this thing. The entire idea was just so cool. And then in 1st place, obviously, Topside Redemption. Besides that, yeah, really good I think the season was very inconsistent. Had some really high parts, some really interesting ideas, and some really low parts. Prison arc was pretty good. Then they had some interesting ideas scattered throughout a not great arc. Like Emerald Archer. You have Emerald Archer, where you have Star City Slayer, Training Day even, Spartan, I'll give it to, Confessions, Living Proof, You've Saved the City. All pretty decent episodes and not a great arc. So, who knows? But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Can't wait to review Season 8. Season 8 is incredible. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Vote for Fan Film Awards. And yeah, I'm exhausted. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Can't wait. I have a lot of really good videos coming up. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.